Hello, hello. All right, let's get it started. Um, hmm. How's it going? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out my life right now. That's loud. Uno momento. Okay. How we doing, folks? I don't know how things are working, so if I tried to make some adjustments. All right. I will turn my webcam on here after a little bit. But I'm wanting to kind of get some TSM groups established in this stream, at least to start off the stream. So I want to be able to share my profiles and groups or whatever. I've been asked several times. So I want to work on that. Or I want to be able to do that, rather, but my groups currently are just kind of a complete shit show. So I want to fix them. And I've already began the process. So I had like a jewel crafting tab down here, and then I had like glyphs. Yeah, I had this glyphs missives. And then I think some other random groups that had some other random like commodities and shit that I sell. So I'm trying to just get it a bit more organized, because I had these initial groups up here set up. And when I set up these groups, they were initially set up for, the initial PvP gear, crafted gear back when Dragonflight first launched. So I've talked about possibly trying to restart some of these items with gold making again. But I don't know for sure that I'm going to do that. So in the meantime, we're just gonna keep doing it how we're doing it. All right. So basically what I did initially was I just deleted the groups that most of my stuff was put in. So like this group, for example, I can like just delete this, and I have like most of these missives in my bags. I think I have all of them. I don't actually. So like I'll have to go through and craft those, and then eventually I'll have to craft the contracts. So I'm going to need to go through and craft like one of everything at least, just to get these groups re-established. But I think it'll be worth it in the long run. It'll certainly be worth it for once it comes time to like share these groups out, um, to make them available for everybody. It'll be a lot more straightforward. I want to try something. Um, yeah, I don't know why it's not working. I think maybe I need to like enable. I don't know if Nightbot even works on YouTube. I guess for the time being, I'll take that out of my YouTube title. I don't know if I can figure out how to do that even though. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So everything currently in my bags has been assigned a group. So what I kind of want to initially do first is assign all of these groups to a auctioning operation, just so that I can start auctioning shit again. Because as of right now, most of this stuff in my bags is not assigned to anything. So I'm not able to post it right now. So for like stacks of 3, I usually do gems. So I'll select my gems, and then I do missives and contracts in stacks of 3. That's the initial thing I'm thinking, or the initial groups I'm thinking for stacks of 3. But I'm sure there's going to be other things that I have to come and add as we go. So stacks of 500 is easy. That's what I do my inks in. So I'll just select all of my inks. And you might be curious, like, why I have each of these inks separated out. And really, it's just because, it's worth selling different things at different times. Like, specifically, like, burnished is kind of a no-brainer to separate from the other inks. Because there's probably a lot of times where you're wanting to list burnished inks, but none of the other inks, because you're wanting to turn those into burnished. But like times like right now, I think flourishing has been reset. So if I wanted to, I could select to also run a post scan for flourishing ink in my auction house post scan. And then even furthermore, I have pigments separated. As of right now, I'm going to keep pigments listing in stacks of 500, although I think I will probably reduce that at some point. You know what? I'm just going to reduce it now. Just because I haven't had much luck selling pigments. So we'll select all the pigments specifically. So while we're on stacks of 50, I'm just going to select some other things that I know I want to have at stacks of 50. So I want my primal convergence. So I created an alchemy group for primal convergence. I want my chilled runes and ruined writhe bark to be in stacks of 50. And I want my elemental harmonies to be in stacks of 50. Stacks of 1 is going to be my toys. Stacks of 2 I currently have as Zap Throttle. I think I'm going to just rename this real quick. I wonder if I can just, can I make that a subgroup of that? Yeah. All right, I think that feels a bit better. So I have my Zap Throttle specifically because I wanted to post that in stacks of 2. And then I have my engineering parts. And obviously I'm going to have to work on getting those added. But engineering parts, I think I want to try at stacks of 50 for now. I'm not doing a whole lot with engineering parts, to be totally honest, though. There's not a whole lot of profit as of recent. But I actually, I guess, to be fair, I haven't really looked at engineering a whole lot either, so. All right. So that should I think cover everything in my bags currently. So let's try post scan. You know what? We're gonna have to select. I think it's got everything. Okay. Should be good. All right, well, I forgot to deselect the other inks. I am continuing to try to sell Flourishing Pigment just because it's well, it doesn't sell super well from what I found, but it's worth a lot. Damn it. I guess I could have posted the Flourishing ink because Flourishing got reset. So on my Demon Hunter over here, I've been unraveling. It's kind of been taking me longer than I wanted to do this unraveling. But then I can turn this Rousing Frost into Chilled Runes. And then I want to look at doing a glyph restock along with different contracts. Because like I said, I want to get one of like everything crafted just to be able to have the groups all set up so that I can share them. Do you know any solo gold farm beside professions? Good question. So is there any particular content that you'd like enjoy doing? Because you could always like just go out like with mining and herbalism. Usually those are good to pair, but like what you could do is you could just take mining and go farm like an old expansion ore. So you could go to like to Valley of the Four Winds in Miss Pandaria and farm Ghost Iron, or you can use there's this add-on called there's this add-on called Worth It. So you could come in here and look at farms and mining. And so it's saying like you could go farm storm silver ore and make 11,218 gold per hour. But you don't have to, like, if you didn't want to do storm silver, you could do any of these others, and it'll kind of lay out the gold per hour. From what I've found is like doing herbs along with it usually is not worth it. Like just doing the ore is really the only option or the best option. So you could do that, or you could go around if you have like multiple characters that are max level. You could go around and you could do all of the Dragon Isles gold world quests. They reset once a week, so you can do world quests twice a week. It resets on Friday, and between all the different gold world quests right here, and then all of the dragon riding world quests, there's a lot of opportunity with that. And then if you had those characters, you could also like go down and do the Iskara Feast for a chance at the alchemical flavor pocket. And then you could go into the Emerald Dream, and you could do the Worthy Ally Dream Warden's quest. And also Aiding the Accord, because both of those will give you gold, but then the Worthy Ally quest, when you open the chest, it has a chance to give you a bag of gold worth like 15k. And so like if you have like, let's say like 4 or 5 characters at level 70 or more, even less, but like the more characters you have at level 70, that's just like more and more gold that you can make. So I think that's a pretty solid option. And if you did do that, you could pick up like Dragon Isles mining and herbalism, and you could only you could avoid all ore and herbs, except for like, for example, like Writhe Bark right now is extremely valuable. So you could like only pick Writhe Bark, or pick Writhe Bark and then talent your professions into the Overload ability, and find ore nodes and herb nodes that are like rousing infused or whatever, and overload them to get additional rousing elements out of it. So you could do that like while you're flying around farming, or not flying around farming, but flying around doing world quests. So yeah, I think that would be probably a pretty solid option. Hey Alex, sorry dude. I don't know why the command's not working. I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to fix the title while I'm live. So I just linked the actual gold guide, but the command doesn't work. But it's an in-depth gold guide on jewel crafting and inscription. Yeah, something is supposed to happen, obviously, but I'll figure it out one of these days. All right. Is Cosmic Ink actually profitable right now? Wow. What are the odds? Oh, I bet Ruined Writhe Bark's super profitable right now. What spec do I have on tailoring? So on this character, I went 2 routes. So number 1 I went is Unraveling. So unraveling, and then obviously you need to get points into resourcefulness. So I think I started off with unraveling, and then I went into weaving because I also started going into draconic needlework, so I can do the cloth cooldowns. So weaving helps with that. And then once I had those points, I went into embroidery for essentially just the additional resourcefulness crafting bags. So I haven't finished it off because I don't care about those last 5 points. And like, I'm still working on some knowledge so that I can I think I need to get 20 points into here so that I can have 30 of the Azure Weave bolt crafts on a weekly basis. And then after that, if I wanted to continue, I would finish off time weaving, but then I would probably be done with trying to go for knowledge points on this character because I don't care about going into garment crafting. I don't do that. So I'm not going to bother. Realistically speaking, how fast can I make 1 million gold if I'm new to WoW? Not really new, but coming back after a long time. So I guess there's a kind of a couple of things that depend on that. Question would I would have a couple questions. One would be like, how much time are you going to be putting into it? Because obviously that's a really important factor. How many characters do you have? And do you have a preferred method of gold making? If you answer those three, I think I could probably try to give you an idea and advice on a route to take. Oh, and final question is how do you have a time limit? All right. Turning the old Webby on. Bang. I don't know. I got a few hours a day and 2 level 70. I don't know. I suck at making gold. Okay. No worries. If you got a few hours a day, so if you're like searching on YouTube for gold making guides and whatnot, you're probably finding a lot that just are like make some astronomical amount of gold in like a super short period of time. But a lot of those videos count on, well, it doesn't account for like sell time. So you might loot items that are extremely valuable, but they might take forever to sell, or just a unknown amount of time to sell, which is I don't like. I want to have an idea of how long it's going to take to sell. So that's why I kind of don't sell like transmog. Now I'm starting to dabble, not so much into like, so transmog and like also like pets is another one where it's like, it could take a long time to sell. But I'm starting to like dabble into pets just because like I have enough else going on. But my recommendation, most of the people I've found seem like people playing on private servers. Otherwise, I don't understand how their methods work. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I think you're in the right spot because I will answer as many questions as you've got in regards to my methods. And I ideally can tell you exactly what you need to do to get to making a lot of gold. So that kind of leads me. So again, a lot of those other methods that you might see online, they just are unrealistic in the sense of like you know, you don't know how long it's going to take for stuff to sell. So the markets that I dabble in is, well, I only do professions basically, and specifically commodities within the professions. So I don't know how new you are to the game. You've got 2 level 70s, so I would imagine you've probably been playing for like just a little bit, maybe have like looked at professions, but just in case. So like when you look at professions have like generally 2 options. You can go the gear crafting route, or you can go the like commodity and like the commodity crafting route. So I exclusively stick to the commodity crafting route. So like with tailoring specifically, this specialization within tailoring is garment crafting, and this is going to be crafting. This is going to be putting knowledge points into crafting gear. Now, the way that you would make money doing this type of crafting is you would be looking at trade chat, and you would be looking for somebody that's looking for a specific piece of gear that you can craft. You'd whisper them, hope they choose your whisper out of probably several other people that have also whispered them. And then you might charge them like 5 or 10K to craft the item. The other option would be is posting advertisements in trade chat, or looking at the crafting orders and seeing if anybody submitted a public crafting order. So that's the gear crafting route you could take. It's by all means a very lucrative route. People have made millions and millions and millions of gold doing that. And at the like start of season 4, it's going to be a very valuable route to go. But if you're new into the game, it's going to take you a while to kind of get into the market and get to the point where you're competing with people that are very well established in crafting at this point. So that kind of leaves you with option 2, which is commodity crafting. And it's my preferred method anyways. So if I look at tailoring specifically, actually, tailoring's not the best example. I'll look at inscription. So inscription, looking at the specialization trees right here, under rune binding, I do have the option to go into gear crafting. So rune binding gear crafting would be maxing out rune binding, maxing out wood carving, and then going into staves, and then also putting points into profession tools, and then points into codexes. So that's how you would want to build your tree if you were wanting to do gear crafting. If you were wanting to do commodities, you could start off in Rune Mastery, and that video that I linked is going to go into a lot more depth than I'm going to go into here with how you would want to like put your knowledge points. But you could put in knowledge points to start milling herbs to craft inks. So like I do a lot of ink crafting. Like this is all ink right here, burnished ink. I have 17,000 burnished ink currently. It's a massive money maker. So just inks alone, you could get started in, and the investment of knowledge points to start making in money. If you go like inks instead of gear crafting, you can start making money the same day that you learn the profession. Whereas if you're going gear crafting, it's going to be a while before you start making money. Now, kind of the barrier to entry within commodity crafting is the auction house side can be a bit challenging. There's a lot of competition, and how do I say it? There's a lot of competition in commodities, so it requires just a lot of patience with post scanning. It takes a lot of refinement of your crafting operations, like posting operations if you're using TSM, and it takes cancel scanning. So you'd spend a good amount of time at the auction house, just doing what I'm doing right now. So that would be your a large part of what you're doing, at least when you're wanting to make money. Um, Now I have two accounts, so you could eventually, with the money you're making, if you're making enough, set up a second account and, uh, go from there. So I usually have on my second account, I'm still doing gold making stuff, but I'm not sitting at the auction house. I'm like um, out gathering souls or uh, something else. That's usually what I'm doing. Um, but if this type of gold making doesn't really interest you, then my suggestion would be kind of what I was explaining to as Aztec. I don't know if you caught any of that, but kind of some solo gold making that's not professions that you can do. So you could start off. Oh, hold on. Okay, there we go. You could start off with just the two level 70s that you have, but maybe you start working on leveling some more. And all you would do is just go around throughout the Dragon Isles, do all of the gold world quests, do all of the Dragon Rider racing quests, because each of these give you like just over 500 gold. You could do Aiding the Accord. You could come down into Tuscar Town and do the feast for a chance at the alchemical flavor pocket, and then you could come into Emerald Dream and do the worthy ally Dream Warden's quest. That has a chance at giving you a bag that's or an additional chest that's worth like 15k or something like that. So you could do that. You could do like this quest once a week on both of your characters, but like all the world quests you could do twice a week on both of your characters. And if you worked on leveling up, in a third or fourth or fifth character and worked them into doing your world quest rotation, that would be some pretty solid money as well. Hey, what's going on, Canada? How's it going, man? Oh, what the heck? Hold on, sorry guys. I thought I had like a overlay or whatever set up to have notifications and shit, but it don't work. So let me retry it. Hold on. We're almost there. Okay. Are things running fine right now, my friends? I can't tell. Canadian, really tired after stream, but okay. Otherwise, how about you? Doing well, man. Doing well. Just trying to reset up my groups and operations and whatnot. Um, okay, sorry. Jeez. Okay. Um, yeah, I'm doing well. I'm just trying to kind of reestablish my TSM groups. So they were kind of just a shit show. And I've had some people ask for my groups, and I was like looking at my groups, and I was like, man, I'd have to share a lot of random shit. Like it would be a lot of different like export or import strings to show my groups. And so I decided to kind of redo my groups. So that's what I've been working on so that I can then share them. T-Dupe, what's going on, my man? How's it going? How are you? Welcome back. And Alexandru, hello. Is there anything I can do with engineering? Absolutely, yeah. So engineering's something that I'm kind of exploring right now, to be totally honest with you. So I won't say that I know everything when it comes to engineering. But one thing I do know for sure that you can do is all of the different devices. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. I see the same name now here. Okay. Um, yeah, so all the different devices. So what you could do is you can go into Mechanical Mind and then specifically novelties. Each one of these is a new different device, a toy that you can learn to sell on the auction house, except for the final node and the first node. So that's five devices or toys right here that you can learn through engineering to craft. And then there's like Quacky, so you can get the recipe for Quacky. Zap Throttle Soul Inhaler is something that's like extremely valuable. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not like super valuable. Like 300 gold is not crazy, but they sell really well. So it's a good one to do. And then there are certainly different parts that you can do. So like the Arclight capacitor and reinforced machine chassis, those are usually the higher ticket items. But some of the other parts certainly you can do as well. The sell rates like with these are not as in high demand as like some of the other crafting professions stuff is. Like for example, like with Inscription, ink is always going to be in demand because ink is used to craft glyphs or missives, and missives are always going to be needed. So like there's always going to be a demand from the entire WoW population for missives, whereas like engineering parts, these are very specific items that require these parts, and so they're not going to be as purchased, I guess. When crafting inks or milling, do you have to use best quality, or can you use lower high quality and still get top craft? Sorry, I don't know why my shit's not working. I'm going to have to figure this out another time. So let me see here. For crafting inks, do you use best quality or can you use lower quality? So for me, I've gotten enough skill points into inscription that I think I can use any rank pigment. Let's see. So let's put, yeah, so even if I used rank 1 shimmering pigment, blazing pigment, and rank 1 draconic vials, I'm still guaranteed rank 3 blazing ink. Hey, what's up, Scope? How you doing, man? Welcome in. Appreciate you popping up. I am doing well. Thank you, man. Hope you are as well. Have a wonderful day of work. I understand if you gotta work, no worries. But yeah, so like for crafting this ink specifically, I can use all rank 1 materials. And then for crafting burnished ink, I would have to use all rank 3 inks, but since I can guarantee rank 3 inks, all of the lower, the blazing, flourishing, and serene, no matter what, I can guarantee at rank 3. As long as I craft it, I know I'll always be able to guarantee the burnished. Okay, so I have to learn how to use Simcraft. Yeah, so I do actually plan on making a craft sim like walkthrough pretty soon here. It's just gonna be like Semicolon's version of craft sim, because it's not gonna be super in depth. I am not gonna cover a lot of the different shit in craft sim. I'm only just gonna cover like the stuff I use and the stuff that I think is relevant to the gold making I do. So as long as you're doing the gold making I do, I think that you'll find like that particular video helpful, especially if you're new to craft sim. But yeah, simulation mode's a great thing to have. All right, so I got a bunch of rousing frost. So I'm gonna craft some chilled runes just briefly here. I don't need a ton. I just want to craft there it is. I just want to craft some so that I can then go through and craft up all of the glyphs and contracts. Keep saying glyphs, missives and contracts, so that I can get those items grouped up, and then might even look at turning some of the chilled runes into ruined wrath bark. Jesus. I didn't mean to log on to this character. This character is who I wanted to get on. Just still working on getting frosty souls for portable party platters as well. Plus any additional chances at pets. We love pets. Of course, that's not going. Roy Duncan. What's going on? Whoa, Black Booty is a wild name. It is not Whoa, Black Booty. It's supposed to be Whoa, Black Betty. And then the character underneath it is Blam a Lamb. Like, whoa, Black Betty, Blam a Lamb. See? Whoa, Black Betty, Blam a Lamb. Is there a spot to farm iridescent water? I tried looking on Wowhead. No. Iridescent water is just a vendor item. So you can buy it for 1 gold from a vendor. So if it's listed on the auction house for anything more, then just go to the vendor. But sometimes you'll see people selling it on the auction house for like 90 silver. And they, you know, to be totally honest, I've tried figuring out how they manage that. Like I've made a goblin. I don't know if maybe I need to have a goblin at like max renown with Valdraken or something to accomplish that, but yeah, I don't know how they get it for a bit cheaper, but sometimes people will post up like 30,000 of it for like 90 silver each, and sometimes I'll just buy the entire stock out of the auction house. Because otherwise I get it for 1 gold. So if I can get just a shit ton of it for 90 silver, I will definitely do that. It's not much savings, just in a small picture, but in a big picture, it's a lot. I don't think other players are going to see it like that without that explanation. Yeah, maybe not. I hadn't even considered the Whoa Black Booty. Had not even considered that, so yeah, I guess I've made some poor naming choices because I also don't like all the Diet Pepsis. I mean, I love Diet Pepsi. I love Diet Pepsi. Don't get me wrong. But not all these Diet Pepsis. It's a lot of Diet Pepsis. All right. Okay, so this is just max sauce, right? Yeah, okay. So we need to get max sauce crafting some inks. So he's got blazing pigment. Yeah, we'll just do that, I guess. Oh, I need shimmering? No, I don't. Yeah, you got a case of 12 in characters. Yeah. Not the best idea. But I've had worse ideas. All right. So I think I'll just go through and just craft one of everything for now, just to do the groups, and then I'll worry about like actually restocking later. And I want to craft one of these as well. It's a unique song. Do I have all the chilled runes before I start crafting those? Rank 3, yeah. I need a rank 3 runed writhe bark as well. Shit. Harmonious. Need to recraft that puppy. I don't usually craft these for profit, but I'm gonna get them into the groups just in case. Vantis rune as well. And then contracts. All right. That should do. Whoa. Missives. I guess we'll just add that to add it. Contracts. Maybe I'll make a random materials. That bad boy added in there. Random materials that we. Oh, that didn't. Do I? Can I not do rank 3 or guaranteed mantis? Oh, maybe they're not rank 3 guaranteeable. Yeah, they must not be rank 3 guarantee. Yeah, I guess that makes sense with the rank 3 being so much more. Oh, and we also need a rank 3 Rend Writhe Bark. I might just buy one. No, we're not going to buy one because I'm going to be crafting those after a bit here. Okay. So let's make sure all of these missives and everything are still, or everything I have is grouped up. I'm not going to worry about those 2 Vantis runes. But that should be everything. Because we've got Dragonflight bags. I guess these could technically be in the cloths group. Can I just drag them in there? Yeah. I don't need any of this stuff to be in groups, really. I'm going to add that shrouded cloth just to... I don't know why I have shrouded cloth. Why do I have shrouded cloth? Oh my gosh. I'm just going to delete it. Okay. That feels pretty good. Let's try it out here. So the spools of wilder thread. Oh shit, 51 items. What the hell? Oh, I guess I have a lot of missives that I crafted. Yeah, so I'm probably going to turn all of these chilled runes into runed writhe bark. Because I'm crafting these chilled runes at, profit. So that's going to make the runed writhe bark even more profitable. And that's a win-win. Lots of posting. So yeah, I will probably have my TSM groups available hopefully pretty soon here. I've also been having like the most trouble with creating an account on Pastebin, but then I think I figured out that you don't actually need to have an account to put something on there. I just think that like if you put something on there, it just won't be like tied to your account. So I don't think that's like that important. So I'm probably just going to do that. Just paste them on there, save the link. And then I've also been working on a Discord because I think that might be the easiest way to distribute that link as well. Roy, damn, price of chilled runes went down from this morning. Made 100k this morning after resetting. Rank 2 selling. Oh, after reset selling rank 2 chilled runes. Damn, that's what's up. How did you like approach that? Like, did you farm up the Rousing Frost yourself, or did you just get a solid buy on a shit ton of Rousing Frost off the auction house? That's a solid sale. Or a solid profit. I was looking at possibly resetting Burnished Ink. There's a streamer named Canadia. I was watching him earlier, and he what am I saying? Well, whatever. He was streaming, and I was looking at Burnished Ink, and I could have completely reset the Burnished Ink price for like 250k investment. I just didn't have faith that it would sell off before some clowns brought the price way back down. But if it did sell off, because like or pay off, because like I could take the price up to like 150 gold per Burnished Ink or something at that point. And I mean, that would just be a bananas flip. But I have a shit ton of Burnished Ink. I have 17,000 Burnished Ink. Arcadian, how do you know how much stacks to sell your inks and pigments in? Also, are your TSM strings public? Great question. So I've been working on kind of updating my TSM groups just to make them a bit more straightforward. So that's a work in progress right now. But as soon as I've gotten that, I do plan on sharing my TSM groups along with the operations. But to answer your question, inks I sell in stacks of 500, but really only do burnished ink that I sell and occasionally flourishing. Basically, whatever inks are selling for high. Um, and then pigments are more challenging. I was posting them in stacks of 500, but I just switched the operation to stacks of 50 to try that out. Someone was selling frostbite and wilder cloth for 3.5 gold, so I scooped up all of them. Damn. That's a snipe. I would love to find something like that. I don't look at frostbite and wilder cloth enough, and I probably should look at it more. Because that's a solid snipe. So yeah, Arcadian. I'm gonna. My strings will be public at some point. What I'll probably do is I'm working on like creating a little Discord. So I'll probably have the links to them in there, but then I'll probably also have just like a exclamation point command or whatever that you can do for a link to like the paste bin or something. But it's probably going to be several paste bins. I don't know. You guys are welcome to provide your input on what you think I should do. I could like just do this all crafted group, which would include everything down to tailoring profession equipment. But there's a lot of stuff in here that isn't like super relevant, so I could like delete it out. Or I could just share profession specific groups. So I could do like my inscription group, my engineering group, my jewel crafting group, and then like my pets and toys group. So I could kind of individual them out that way, or try to do like just one big export. So you guys tell me what you think would be best. Or I guess I could also do both and give people the option to pick. Maybe we just do that. T-Dupe, I actually kind of forgot to ask. You said that you followed my guide last night and almost maxed out. How'd that go for you? Did you follow for inscription and jewel crafting, or just one or the other? But yeah, I'd be curious to know how that worked out, if you're still there. I guess I should probably do something. Great and only inscription. Okay, right on. Did you go... so you were asking about iridescent water, so I assume you went the ink route. Ink and milling. Can kind of get immediately started into that, which is really nice. And Flourishing Ink just got reset recently, so I'm stuck currently at 65, but I grabbed knowledge points on the map. Your skill at 65? Gotcha. So you got inking and milling maxed out, I assume is what you're saying, but your profession skill as a whole is stuck at 65. I think I'm following along. I'd have to remember. I think it was pretty easy for me to max out my inscription skill. So let me quickly log on my alt inscriptionist who's not maxed out and see if I can remember what I did to max it out. Or maybe it was like the biggest pain in the ass to max it out and I just forget. We'll see. I feel like treatises or treaties or whatever the hell are maybe the solution. Um, let me. Have you heard of the website Wow Professions? Let me see what Wow Professions says. Oh, okay. So yeah. Now I remember maxing out inscription is a pain in the ass. Um, but let me see. So you're at skill 65. So that's what, 29 points above where I'm at. So with all rank 3 inks, you're 28 skill points away from rank 3 burnished. So let's go into simulation. Did you have you maxed out? Well, I guess even maxing out Rune Mastery, that wouldn't help. Just to double check, do you have the blue tools? Because with the blue tools, that's included in this 28 points away. So yeah, that kind of sucks. So it will be a little bit before you're able to do burnished. Okay, so you did use WoW Professions. Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, you could get like the chef's splendid rolling pin recipe. Hold on. Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, no, Jewelcraft or Inscription is easy. Thank you, Arcadian. You're absolutely right. So all you need to do is get to your reputation with Artisans Consortium to valued, and then for 75 metal, you buy this Chef's Splendid Rolling Pin recipe. This Chef's Splendid Rolling Pin recipe will give you skill points all the way up to 100. It's a little bit expensive to craft, so it's a gold investment, but it's a quick way to get the knowledge points you need, or the skill you need. So you'd really only need to do 28 crafts. You wouldn't need to get yourself to skill 100, just enough to get you to the rank 3 burnished ink. Good call, Arcadian. That's that's what I thought. I like was like I don't remember Inscription being like hugely gated. So yeah, it's a bit of an expensive way to go about it, but I assure you it'll pay off. Just crafting the rank 3 burnished ink. I used the guide on Wowhead and got to 63 plus 6 with tools. The rest is a rep grind away. Well, if you can get to Artisans Consortium valued, and I think it's actually pretty easy to do with, what's it called? A contract for Artisans Consortium. I think it actually grants you a lot more reputation per world quest specifically for Artisans Consortium compared to everything else. So I think it's pretty easy to actually get that to valued so that you can buy that recipe. Redbark price kind of high. I've been staying away from that until it kind of gets better. Yeah, I was just looking at Redbark is selling for a lot. So I'm crafting up a bunch of chilled runes right now. And as soon as these are done crafting, I'm going to crank out a bunch of Redbark. Ruined Redbark. Because that's very valuable right now. So expensive to craft it. Costs you like 25k gold to get 100. Yeah, the chef's rolling pin is really expensive. But I mean, the other option is like you can craft the ruined writhe bark. And save some money that way if you wanted to. So that's an option. So we've almost got this guy to 55. Continuing to try to get alts to the point where they are doing those tailoring cooldowns for me as well. More and more. I need more. How much is Wraithbark on your server? Mine's 27 gold and 260 for ruined. So Arcadian, I will check that right now, but just in case, like servers are cross realm, or sorry, the auction house is all of the region. So I'm in North America. So, and it looks like you're probably in North America as well. So the prices, whatever server you're on, is if you're on a North American server, we share the same auction house for like particularly this. So my prices are the exact same. Ruined Wraithbark's 260. But then I would only buy the rank 2. I would buy the cheapest Wraithbark, not the rank 3. So I would buy a rank 2 for the 2488. Flourishing ink I have. So a big reason that Ruined Wraithbark is profitable right now is because Flourishing ink went up, and Wraithbark went up. But I crafted this Flourishing ink, and so right now it's considering the profit. It's calculating the profit based off of Flourishing ink at 34 gold, 91 silver. But I didn't craft it for nearly that much. So the profit per craft for me is definitely higher than 47.94 currently. Aren't those shared across servers? Yeah. Wraithbark and Ruined Wraithbark are cross server, region wide. Same with Rousing Air, Chilled Runes, and Flourishing ink. Everything about Ruined Wraithbark and its crafting materials are region wide. I think this has already been asked, but does the quality of herbs you mill affect the pigment quality when milling? It most definitely does. I think in most cases it doesn't matter. If you're milling specifically like to craft your for yourself, you would just buy the cheapest herb available. Because like if you're maxed out in inscription, um, if you're maxed out in inscription, then um, like whatever pigment you use, you're automatically still going to guarantee the rank 3 of the ink. So if you're milling for yourself, then again, whatever herb is the cheapest. But if you're going to mill like to post on the auction house, then yeah, like with the rank 3 herbs at max inscription, I think would guarantee rank 3 pigment. But you have to just kind of keep in mind that for in most cases, people probably don't care a lot about the rank of the pigments. They're just likely going to go for whatever's cheapest because in most cases for people, it's going to be that the pigment quality doesn't matter because they're just able to guarantee the rank 3 ink no matter what. Hey, text lady, how's the TSM grouping going? It's going pretty well. Thanks for asking. Right now I'm just trying to finish crafting up these chilled runes so that I can then pump out a runed writhe bark crafting session. Because I just need a rank 3 runed writhe bark to add into my groups. But I'm basically just trying to do a complete overhaul because prior to some of the changes I've made and like adding like the ink section or basically all the changes to alchemy, inscription, and jewel crafting sections, I just had some random groups down here that like jewel crafting and like gems and missives were all in the same groups and whatnot because I just had them grouped by like operation basically. But I've had some people ask for my operations or my groups. Well, I guess like the whole shebang, so to speak. So I'm trying to make it a little bit more understandable before I share this out to the world. Because otherwise I feel like I will just get a million questions asking how it works. So just trying to finish that up. But we're always making money while we're doing it, you know what I mean? So just crafting, posting auctions. I'm actually going to hold off on Children posting for now. I already listed a bunch. Let's get these ones canceled. We've had some sales. What's sold? Oh, the Dust Spirit sold. Hell yeah. We love to see that. So the Dust Spirit, in case anybody doesn't know, this pet came from farming earthen souls for the engineering toys. So every single time you open a docile earthen soul, you have a chance of looting a Dust Spirit. So I looted this, and she sold. Love to see it. I really like doing the souls or farming the souls and just for the chance of getting these pets because it's just like I don't know. I feel like it's like finding the golden ticket in a Willy Wonka chocolate bar or something like that. It's just like extra money for like no reason. I think this is already. Oh yeah, I read that. I could have sworn Wrythebark was like 16 to 18 gold a few weeks ago, and then like last week it just skyrocketed, like was like 33 gold. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So I don't know if the stock, like on NA, has just like I don't understand. It from what it seems like is. I mean, like, I know very little about economics, but the fact that the price has continued to be super high tells me that there's not enough writhe bark being farmed, I guess, to um, outweigh the amount of writhe bark being purchased, and so the price is just continuing to stay high. That's my take. Uh, but like I said, I'm no economist here. I think the I don't know, maybe Blizzard has banned a lot of botters or something like that. Although the thing is and what makes me doubt the validity of that economic statement is that if that were the case, you'd think that this would be happening to other herbs. Yeah, the writhe bark, that's herbalism. If you're wanting to go pick some flowers, you can go farm writhe bark. But I really wouldn't recommend it because I don't think it's worth spending the time farming writhe bark. You can make a lot more gold doing just like crafting stuff. Now, what you could do, like you could start, like if you're gonna make an herbalism character, you should also put not enchanting, mining on that character. That makes it a bit more worth it. But then what I would recommend doing is like only fly around and like for a long time I was only flying and gathering elemental nodes, so elemental herb nodes and elemental ore nodes, because really the profit was the rousings that you would get from those elemental nodes when gathering. And then with those gathering professions, you can also overload those elemental nodes to get additional rousings. So you could go that route as well. Yeah. Yeah, so if you're gonna, you could have one character crafting and one character mining / herbing. But then what I would kind of recommend on top of that is, like, specifically with herbing, I would only do writhe bark. Like when you're flying around, like mouse over before you fly down to the item and see if it's writhe bark. And it'll also tell you if it's an elementally charged node when you mouse over it. And I would only fly down to the ones that are elementally charged. And then not elementally charged, the only thing I would fly down to is writhe bark. Because that way you're just kind of, because there's a lot of other herbs and there's a lot of different ores out in the Dragon Isles that the value of is just like super low. Like Hawk and Bloom is like 20 silver per flower. And so if you're flying down to pick a Hawk and Bloom flower, you're taking that time to fly down. You might end up having to sit for an extra minute to regather vigor, only for maybe like a gold worth of herbs. And it's pretty much the same story with Saxifrage and Bubble Poppy. So yeah, and I know I'm beating a dead horse, but just only the elementally charged nodes and writhe bark to maximize gold per hour. What you could do too, if you wanted, is you could download an add-on like Loot Appraiser, and then you just have to make sure it's you change the quality that it's tracking to account for the quality of herbs and ore. And then you could fly around for like an hour doing just elementally charged nodes and writhe bark and see roughly like what your gold per hour is. If that's something that you care about. I know I've said before, and it's still true. I don't personally really care about gold per hour that much. But I know for some people it's a important stat. I don't usually get all these ore nodes just because I'm not super geared and have trouble killing these guys. It takes a while, so some of them I skip. Unless it's like Trillium, then I'll figure it out. Yeah, like that one I'm gonna just skip. All right, this is coming along nicely. Yeah, the gold guide command, unfortunately, on the YouTube side is not working. Yeah, there you go, Alex. Again, sorry about that. I don't know how to fix it, but I'll try to figure it out. I want to figure it out. I would like to also eventually have it set up so that chat from both YouTube and Twitch shows on the stream, so that you know, people on both sides can see what everybody else is saying, etc. I thought I had that set up. I thought I had the commands, alerts, and all that shit. Well, I don't know if alerts work. I don't know if anything's happened to warrant an alert. At least on Twitch, nothing's happened, which... but I don't know about YouTube. I don't know how those alerts work. But I think it's probably broken as well. Knowing my luck. Oh, Trillium. Gotta go up for that. Like I said, I came back recently, but couldn't help but get excited at their announcement about the next 3 expansions. Do you think they're preparing something big after that? To be totally honest, I think they probably have no clue yet what they're doing after those 3 expansions. They probably have like a very basic idea of like where they want to take the story, but so maybe they have something big to take the story after the 3 expansions, but I would imagine that's the only thing that they've got figured out after the 3 next expansions. But I don't know. I mean, with the acquisition by Microsoft, I think I would imagine... I don't think we'll see anything major changes wise from Blizzard now that Activision or Microsoft's in charge for War Within, just because we're super close to that launch date, and I think it's probably way too late for them to make any sort of like major changes to that game. But like the expansion after that, I think that there's a very high chance that Microsoft might decide to... I mean, I don't know. I feel like it would be pretty stupid for them to make drastic changes to the game unless they... I mean, I think there is certainly a world where drastic changes to the game would be supported by players if they did it right. But I just think that it's very unlikely that they would do it right. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I was thinking there is a slight chance they would remake WoW. Maybe. What I could see is Microsoft launching a game built off of World of Warcraft's like structure, but like, just like completely like new skinned, right? Like probably like much more realistic graphics, um, whatever that is, but kind of just using World of Warcraft is like the backbone for it. Finnegar, what's going on, my man? How you doing? Welcome in. Thanks for popping in here. The clear step is to do Kalimdor and then Eastern Kingdoms revamp. So that would be cool. Yeah, that would be like some revamps to the maps. But that's where I think that maybe that Microsoft could just like make a new game based off of like WoW's structure, and that would just be like their revamp, so to speak, is just kind of like adding a new skin, but like I don't know, maybe it's like first person only, more interesting combat. I don't know, that could be cool. But I would also support like a revamp of the maps and zones and updated textures and whatever else. That'd be cool. Where are you currently? I am in Valley of the Four Winds, in Mists of Pandaria. So I'm just farming. So this is what I'm doing to level alts. So I'm farming Ghost Iron Ore. If you're gonna do this, you want to make sure you pick up this item here, Mist Piercing Goggles, and then you would take the port. Like if you're leveling a character, you'll have to time walking Mists of Pandaria, do the intro quest line. That'll take you to here. And then in Honeydew Village is a mining trainer that you can learn Pandaria mining. And then you could head down to Valley of the Four Winds to start mining to level. Only big suggestion is level 2 at least 30 first. Level 30 is when you get flying. Now level 30, you're going to get the slow version of flying. So it's still certainly doable. With this character, I leveled him from 30 to where I'm at so far, just mining. But 30 to 40 is pretty brutal, to be totally honest, with the slow flying. It's just, the leveling process is much slower because you're flying much slower. So my next alt that I already have ready to go, I leveled him up to 40, so that I can just do 40 to 60 mining. I don't know actually how long it takes to level through this method. But the last character I did, I made about 30k worth of Ghost Iron Ore. So it's not anything crazy by any means, but it's kind of two birds with one stone, making money and also mining, or making money and also leveling. And then I guess if you consider the fact that I'd also be AFK crafting on my secondhand account and making sure that's like still going and whatnot, that increases kind of the value of it, I suppose. Why don't you level in time walking dungeons? You get like a level per dungeon, and it takes like 10 minutes per dungeon. So yeah, that's usually a pretty good option. But like time walking, like this past week, you had to be level 35 to enter time walking. So right there, you're having to level up to 35 via a different method than time walking just for last week. And then like the next time time walking comes around, the lowest level to enter will be 40. And then the time after that, it'll be 45. So if you're wanting to just get characters to max level as quickly as possible, then that's certainly the way to go. But right now, like for me, I'm not like super trying to rush it. Otherwise I think I'll just get burned out from leveling. So I'm just kind of taking my time, and I'm also making some money doing it while I'm at it. But I might, because at some point like before the new expansion comes out, all of my characters, because like all of my alts right now, I've only gotten them to level 60. I don't really need to get them any higher than that, because they have access to all of Dragonflight professions at level 60. But I'm going to want to get them to 70 before War Within is here, so that I'm not having to deal with leveling alts in War Within. Because if they're 70, when War Within launches, they'll immediately have access to War Within. They'll immediately have access to War Within professions. So in that case, as we get closer, I might start leveling these characters up to 70 through time walking. Haraldin has a great guide to fast leveling if needed. Yeah, I mean, I'd be open to that. I guess I haven't really thought about trying to power level a bunch of characters up. And I am thinking about, I know I've said this quite a few times now, but I'm thinking about getting a third account established. So if there's a way I could level a character on each account all at the same time, that would be rad. Come on. Oh, fuck. Oh, I do think also we officially got to be able to get affiliate on Twitch, which is pretty sweet. I don't know what that all entails. I tried signing up or registering or whatever earlier, and it kept on saying something went wrong, try again. And so I eventually just stopped trying again. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see. I'd have to level my Pandaria engineering just to make the goggles. Done on my auction house. Not sure if it's worth that time. I didn't know those existed though. Really? You don't have any of these goggles on your auction house? That's insane. I mean, I could literally, if you're on NA, I could just buy some and trade them to you. So that you didn't have to deal with that. Because they're 300 gold on my server. Come on. Yeah, they'll do it automatically. When I got mine, I just woke up and there was an email saying congratulations. Oh, cool. Okay. That makes more sense then, because I thought you had to apply or something like that, and I could not figure it out. You're on Mal'Ganis and there are not mist piercing goggles? Did you add the hyphen? That would be crazy. But maybe is Mal'Ganis not a, I thought it was a popping off server, but maybe it's not as popular as I thought. Yeah, maybe you should learn then. Or you could just, if you have two accounts, you could just buy them on the cheapest server that they're available and take them over to your server and list them. I'm sure they don't sell like crazy. They're kind of a thing of the, well, they are a thing of the past, but they increase the amount of ghost iron you get by quite a bit. You find a lot more nodes with those mist piercing goggles on. I haven't learned all that yet, just starting out with the gold making. Oh, okay, right on. What made you decide to get into gold making? When milling 20k plus herbs, is there an add-on or command you use, or do you just come back every 5 minutes and click the next stack? Yeah, so Blizzard intentionally kind of set it up that way, so that you can't just completely AFK, doing really like most profession tasks. Um, so yeah, you do have to manually restart the milling every single time you finish off that one stack. Um, but with aerated file of quick hands, you can mill pretty quick. Like I think you can get through 1,000 herbs in like 59 seconds or something like that. So it's probably better off just like kind of spending the time, not going AFK like totally when you're milling. Like if you have multiple versions of the game running, then you can like start the milling, tab to your other account, come back, start the next milling, tab over, so on and so forth. Otherwise, it's kind of an involved process that you'd probably want to just kind of keep doing to make it worth it. Yeah, it's a full server. Oh, wow, okay. I haven't learned all of that yet. Just starting out with the gold. We read that. I'm tired of paying for my account. LO plus I work from home and have a ton of downtime, so I can watch YouTube videos about it, farm, etc. I need to be able to drop what I'm doing on a whim, so I can't do dungeons or Mythic Plus. So farming and crafting and standing at the auction house works well. Well, you and I are in the like literal same exact boat. I have my work from home set up literally right there. I work from home too. So, kind of like I was responding to Arcadian about milling. Like that's one thing that I'll do when I'm working from home is just kind of keep my milling going. So it's great. Yeah. I have optimized my gold making strategy literally for working from home. Because I'm on WoW like all the time. Hey, what's up, Puma? Thanks for being a first-time chatter in here. Welcome in, my friend. I see gold making gaining traction over time because of that reason. Do you mean specifically because of like working from home? All right. So let's see here. I have 1,200 chilled runes. So I think I am going to turn every single one of those into runed wraithbark. But the weird thing is I don't know why the rank 2 is so much more expensive and why there's none of them available. Because nobody can guarantee rank 2 or rank 3. Am I tripping? Yeah, no. I ain't tripping. But that profit is not right because nobody's going to buy rank 2s as long as they're more expensive than rank 3s. Being able to drop it at any time. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, for sure. That's a pretty big reason that I'm also into gold making is I just don't like committing to especially like I'm gonna have a child soon. I feel like WoW's player base is getting older, and like soon, I'm not gonna be able to commit to 30 minutes of doing a Mythic Plus. Like, if I got to get up and step away, I got to get up and step away. Otherwise, the people I'm doing my Mythic Plus with are just gonna have to accept me leaving. I don't know. Yeah, that's my goal. Been watching your journey and got me familiar with Canadia's stream, so I checked that out today too. Damn, I type book. Sorry. No, you're fine, man. I appreciate you chatting. Like, it makes the stream much more entertaining, I think, on both sides. So, type away. Mythic Plus rating progress just gets reset, but gold making does not. Yeah, for sure. Check undermine on that item. On the Ruined Wrathbark. I'm just gonna craft them. 1278. This is gonna be expensive. 332,000 gold to craft. That was expensive, but it'll be worth it. All that Wrathbark or Ruined Wrathbark. Oh, look at that! Yeah. Gale Spirit sold and the Dust Spirit sold. 175k is sold auctions right now. We making that money. All right. Let me drink a quick hands potion real quick here. All right. Finally got a rank 3 Ruined Wrathbark. So now that I'm actually thinking about this, I want to separate Ruined Wrathbark and Chilled Runes, because right now I want to be able to post Ruined Wrathbark and not post Chilled Runes. So I initially had them grouped up because I would post them in the same stack quantities. But again, I want to be able to post the Ruined Wrathbark as I craft it and not include the Chilled Runes in that. So I will deselect Chilled Runes here. Ruined Wrathbark is selected. Nicholas, hello. What do you know about the Wrathbark herb prices? My TSM said they were like 8 gold each, and now they are 24-ish. Yeah, so it's funny you ask, because we were just talking about this earlier. And real quick, Alex, no, you cannot reset your profession points, unfortunately. Once you've spent them, you're stuck with how you set them up. So I've ran into that issue before, and what I've done is like I just basically don't run that particular profession. Like if it was like I spent all the initial knowledge points you get, and I put them into something that I didn't want to, then I probably would just not do that profession on that character, and pick something else up. But kind of depends on just how much you've invested in terms of knowledge points. But sorry, Nicholas, so you asked, what do I know about Wrathbark or herb prices? So, yeah, Wrathbark's been super strange, hasn't it? Let's look at it. So if we look at like pricing history of Wrathbark, let's look at, so number one, blue line represents the price, and red line represents the quantity. So as we can see, well, maybe this isn't going to show us any data that's relevant. So the quantity has recently started to go down, because so typically with general economics, right? We were talking about this earlier, and I don't know shit about economics, but typically if the price is going up, that would mean that the number available doesn't outweigh the demand. So like if 100,000 Wraithbark are purchased a day and only 100,000 is being farmed up and posted on the auction house, then the price is probably going to stay at a steady price. But if 100,000 is being bought a day, but 200,000 is being posted, then the price is going to come down. So typically that would indicate why a price has gone up. But the max quantity, like particularly spiked when the price went up. So it's kind of strange. I don't know. If I had to guess, it's probably it got reset somehow, and the people that have just been posting Wraithbark have been kind of probably controlling the market. If somebody posts beneath it, either that, or if somebody posts in a quantity for a cheaper price, it just is purchased by somebody crafting immediately. If I had to guess, I don't know, but it's really strange. But I really like it. It makes, like crafting costs increase, but it makes the price of things increase, which ultimately just means that, like, things are selling for a higher amount, and so you're technically just making more in the same amount of time. If that makes any sense. Or I can just grind, I suppose, 60 points. Alex, what profession are you? What profession is it? And where did you spend the points? Because maybe it's not like all bad. Maybe they'll be worth having at some point. In which case, that's maybe not too bad of a thing. Okay, so engineering. I went with mechanical mind. I'm trying to remember which one mechanical mind is. I'll log into my engineer and look. I hope they let us access profession vendors in the beta instead of focusing on hero talents. Yeah, to be totally honest, I have actually never done beta stuff. But I remember, I'm sure some of you are familiar with the YouTuber. I don't know if they stream, but Penguin 2T or something along those lines. I watched them make a bunch of videos, like coming into Dragonflight and going through the profession information. So that got me kind of interested in possibly checking out whatever it's called in the future. The beta. Yeah, Alex, you said you went mechanical mind. So if you put 30 or 40 points into mechanical mind, that's actually a pretty solid one, because Novelties is off of mechanical mind, and Novelties has a lot of toys that I was mentioning earlier has a lot of toys that are valuable, like the um, precipitation emitter, atomic recalibrator. This one, doesn't sell for a lot on my server, but it sells a lot. Um, rocket helmet, giggle goggles, and environmental emulator. So you might be okay with going into mechanical mind. Am I sold out of bags? I am. So let's restock on bags. A few thanks. Yeah, no problem, man. Happy. I've ran into like what you just thought, where you put a bunch of knowledge points into something that wasn't worth it. I've had that happen to me, and it sucks. I just like the shittiest feeling. So happy you did not experience that. In your opinion, what herbs are the best to invest in for milling if you have like 100K, or should you split it over the 4 herbs? So let's see here. So flourishing pigment doesn't sell too well right now, from what I've experienced, and it could be that there's just a lot of competition because the price is so high, or it could be that most crafters are just milling writhe bark for their flourishing pigment needs instead. So you could do like shimmering. So like you could just buy up like a shit ton of Hawkenbloom and mill it and turn it into shimmering pigment. And I think that would net you 20 to 30K gold an hour. Otherwise, I have a spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet I unfortunately I'm not going to share just because it's from a different content creator, and I want him to have like, the benefit of creating it. But his name's Canada TV, and he has a spreadsheet specifically for inking and milling. And I can show it on stream real quick, I think. But I use this spreadsheet when I'm trying to decide if I should do any type of or what I should mill. So like with this spreadsheet, I have the ability to put in the price. So for like bubble poppy right now, the kind of like bulk price, if I wanted to buy a bunch, kind of the price line for that is 1 gold. So I'll put 1 gold for bubble poppy on here. It's lagging. What is happening? There we go. So I'll put 1 gold for bubble poppy. Now bubble poppy does serene ink. So according to this, if I mill bubble poppy and I have the max resourcefulness, then I would get on average 1 serene pigment for 1 gold and 22 silver. So then I can look and see what serene pigment's selling for. So like the rank 1's 1 gold 50, rank 2 is 1 gold 86, and rank 3 is 1 gold 94. So I could go through and I could mill bubble poppy, and I would make a profit. And I could do that for writhe bark. I could do that for saxifrage if I wanted to look at blazing ink. And then I know Hawkenbloom is always a super solid option with milling. Oh, and look at that. Flourishing pigment sold. Let's see. I've been posting flourishing pigment. Well, I haven't looted my auction house or my mailbox in a while to know. Let's see. So I have gotten some flourishing pigment sales. So you could certainly try. You could certainly try milling some writhe bark. And I suppose any pigment that you don't sell, you could always just craft into flourishing ink instead. But then that's the other option is like if you're going to mill, maybe it's better off with current auction house prices to instead craft ink over milling. I can make the goggles now. Oh, the mist pierced goggles. That's awesome. I'll be curious. Like I'd be really curious to hear how sales work out for you on those. Yeah, I just don't imagine they're like too crazy. But I don't know. Couple of weeks, yeah, for sure. Unless you got somebody like me that goes through and buys them up for their alts to level in Miss Pandaria. All right, we will go for some souls again. I think I'm going to probably have to get some characters planted out in some areas to farm all types of souls again soon here, since I'm starting to sell through some of these pets. I would rather not have a time where I don't have any of them available. Because they're a nice thing to have just kind of sitting on the auction house. Starting to get a good amount of frosty souls. So it takes 5 frosty souls for 1 portable party platter. So far I can make 8 between my rogue and my hunter. So probably tomorrow I'll get a couple more characters in spots. Like I'll probably move my rogue or my hunter to a different spot to start farming a different type of soul. Because yeah, I mean, you just, even if it's not like every 15 minutes, if you just log on to those characters and do a soul, like whenever you think about it, but you know, like try to get it as many times a day as you can. Like when you can, like don't go out of your way for it by any means, but you'll have these toys that, you know, I think over time, especially if you're selling on multiple servers, you'll sell through them most certainly. And then also, as we move into future expansions, you'll just kind of have that stock and you won't have to worry about going back and farming the old content for those particular toys. Now you might want to come back in a future expansion to try to farm the pets, but in which case you would, you know, kind of inadvertently get souls to make more of the toys. But yeah, I don't know, it's just setting yourself up for the future. It's current content now, so it's a little bit less painless to do, I think, is the main thing. So it does seem like we're getting some pretty solid ruined writhe bark sales as well. You hate soul farming? Yeah, it's not great by any means. I hear ya. Okay, that's about to disappear. Nice, we've got some solid sales right now. Almost 200K in sold auctions. And I know, I said this in the last stream, but the first 100 mails of this current mailbox is over 1 million gold. So, if we look at my recent expenditures, my most recent mailbox opening put me at 6.5 million gold, and the dip down has been much quicker this time around than past. Like, look how much steeper that angle is than these past ones. Especially like this right here. It was like literally just buying the mats for the ruined Brythe Bark, I think. So I'm kind of nervous for this next mailbox opening. It would be awful if I opened my mailbox and we didn't surpass 6.5 million gold. Because it's probably going to be another couple of days at least before I do that mailbox opening and record that video. So, it's either going to be massive and there's going to be like at least currently there'd need to be hopefully 2.5 million gold in my mailbox. At least 2 to at least put me back at 6.5 million. There's got to be at least 2, yeah. There's 1 million in the first 100 mails, and I've got like 800. I think we're doing all right. That makes me feel a bit more confident. I don't know why, though, the profit right here says negative. I'd actually be curious to look at old videos to see if this profit totals was more negative. Gold cap incoming? I think so. I mean, we're 5 million away right now. I haven't had 2.5 million gold in my entire time on WoW, even if you combined all my tunes. Yeah. I mean, I was in a similar boat, like, not long ago. Like, at one point last year, like this time last year, I had 2 million gold. That was about the most I'd ever had. Well, I guess not the most I ever had, because in July I had 2.7. And then it immediately went down to 9,000 gold, which makes me think that I probably bought some sort of stupid boost. And then, I don't know. But this past December, was at 36,000 gold. So we've made $6.5 million gold in 2 months, mid-December to mid-February, 2.5 months maybe. I don't think that's as good as Canada. He's at 48 million and he started in June last year. I don't know. I guess we'll see come, I don't know. Whatever. So yeah, this is, I think, what I'm going to kind of finish the night out on is crafting up this ruined Brythe Bark, continuing to post auctions. I might look at crafting some gems. Actually, I probably won't look at crafting gems tonight just because I probably won't sell through whatever I craft. But it'll definitely be something that I look at tomorrow. I don't usually do a good job at kind of continuing to craft gems throughout the week. I typically only do it like on Tuesdays and then like on the weekend. Um, but I think going forward, I think I'm gonna try continuing to post even on like Thursdays, Fridays, Mondays, even if there's just like 2 or 3 gems that are profitable. Um, I might as well craft them, I guess, is kind of my thinking. So we'll go through it because I haven't looked in a while on those off days to see if anything's profitable. So I'm gonna go through those and see probably tomorrow, but otherwise I think I am gonna go ahead and call it a night tonight. So I appreciate everybody showing up and hanging out, chatting on YouTube and Twitch. I am going to try to get these notifications or exclamation point commands fixed for the next time. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. If you have any questions in the future, please come back and ask. Always happy to help out. Scope, thanks for chatting. Finn, thank you. Alex, Arcadian, Puma, Nicholas, T-Dupe, Text Lady. If I missed anybody else, I'm sorry. Thank you all for chatting, hanging out. We'll talk to you all later.